Hello everyone, it is Saturday today and I'm going to go out in the garden and do some filming. We're just going to do a small walk round, really, like a mini garden tour for my benefit as much as yours. My in-laws have got the children and my wife has said, come on, let's go and walk around the garden together. So I certainly don't want to miss out on that offer. I've not really been in the garden for a week. I've faced a bit of a fight inside myself, really, because half of me is the guy that really wants to do everything and get on and get everything done, and so there has been a little bit of that in me, but at the same time the other half of me has really struggled to get around, and I've been spending a lot of time in bed. It's 1:30 in the afternoon now, or getting near 1:30. I've just got out of bed now. Oh, look at this gorgeous girl. And she is absolutely gorgeous. And it's quite a menagerie out there of hens, all doing their own thing. So, like I say, yeah, I've really missed the garden, but I've also struggled to be up and about. I'm still very, very dizzy every time I sit up or stand up. So that's been the real struggle. Once I'm moving, it's not too bad. And obviously I've got, the physical stuff as well once I'm out and about. So anyway, enough of that. Going to make the most of this because tomorrow morning I've got to go for a COVID-19 test, and then I need to self-isolate before my surgery on Tuesday. So the idea being, obviously, I get the COVID-19 test and the results take 2 days. The idea is, I'm expecting to be clear, but obviously I need to self-isolate between then and the surgery because there's no good me having the test and then catching it and then having the surgery. So the idea is that I self-isolate after the test tomorrow. I'll bring you with me for the test, I think. I'll see if I can, see how easy that is to do. And also, I apologise, if this kind of stuff isn't for you, if you don't really want to follow along for this portion of my journey, then I completely understand. So I apologise if I've bombarded you with a few videos that you don't want. So just skip them, and I'll try and return to normal service as soon as I can. So Jackie's just gone to go and collect some eggs, and she said I should at least have a look at the garden and just see what needs harvesting, and there is a fair amount, to be fair. It's doing really well. I'm really happy. So down here, the bit of the plot closest to us, we've got a lot of things that are just in for overwintering. So I'm not too concerned with this end right now. We've got a lot of spring onions, garlic, overwintering cauliflower, broccoli, things like that, cabbages. But there's quite a lot of salad, and I think we'll harvest some of this. Whether we'll harvest it right now, whether I'll come back out for it, I'm not sure. There's some salad that needs harvesting, and I'm debating whether or not to harvest that first butternut squash over there. He's a nice size, so I think I might. It's my first year growing butternut squash, so my only concern is it going to ripen better left there? Is it already ripe? I just don't know. It doesn't look as green as the others. If you're a butternut squash connoisseur, please let me know. But there's that giant one right there, which I can't really give you a very good idea of scale. I suppose I put my feet next to it. My feet are rather large. These are size 11 shoes. So that's a nice big butternut squash there. I can't do much else really to show you. But we've got another 7 or 8 growing of like the next size down, about half that size, and then another 6 or 7 really small ones that I'm not expecting much of. But yeah, let me know, is that ready for harvesting? There's a few of you out there that are more accomplished growers than me, and as I say, this is our first year with butternut squash. We tried them last year and failed, so it's our first year with successful butternut squash, should I say. So then moving a little bit further up, we've got this spinach, which is going great guns, and we'll be able to harvest this for a little while yet, probably through into the winter, so I'm not worried about that. And we've got some cabbages that are starting to head up really nicely Obviously the kale, which we've been harvesting as a sort of cut and come again crop. And then further up, this is the patch that I'm desperate to get in and weed. Despite the fact that it is full of weeds, it's also actually doing rather well. It's producing some amazing crops. We've got a lot of beetroot up through here, beetroots, and then we've also got quite a few really nice big Swedes. I think in the US they're called rutabagas, but we've got several really good sized Swedes, which again we'll start harvesting now. We'll harvest them as we want to use them, because they're not going to hurt being left in the ground for a little bit longer. We've got the last of our nasturtiums there, and the leeks, which you can see run right up through here. Excuse the jaunty camera angle, it's really quite difficult for me to adjust it with my current state. But yes, we've got quite a few leeks up through there, and leeks are one of my favourite vegetables, and I think next year I'm going to grow a lot more of them, because I'm always put off growing leeks when I first start growing them, when I start planting them and transplanting them, because they're so tiny and fiddly to transplant. But every year they deliver for me. So I think next year I'm going to, and feel free to remind me if you're still watching me this time next year and I'm talking about what I'm going to be planting, remind me, grow more leeks, because I bloody love them. And they just grow so well. Once they're established, they're just so good at looking after themselves. We don't get any of the pests that people might associate with leeks. So yeah, that's great. And then at the back there, as you can see, has gone over is our runner bean plant, or one of our runner bean sections. They actually run right along that back. And those guys we're just leaving now. We're letting them finish up. The beans that stay on the plant we're going to let dry off. We might either harvest them as dried beans or we'll use them for sowing. But these runner bean plants are all we're going to try and perennialise. Moving up the bed, this is the next section. We've got our Brussels sprouts, which are coming on fantastically. I think we're going to be able to take our first harvest of Brussels sprouts for Christmas, which is generally speaking what we do. We have our first Brussels sprouts Christmas Day. The chard, as you can see, is still getting on great, and that again we'll be able to crop that right through the winter. We've got another row of butternut squash just to the left there, which, you know, we'll be looking to replace them fairly soon. And then over here, these are our Egyptian onions, and I've done a video just on these, and if you haven't seen it, you really must go and check that video out. But I've populated the rest of this bed with these Egyptian onions, and they're coming up already. They're doing really well. They're coming up. So once we take out these courgette plants, that's what this whole bed will be given to. It'll be a perennial bed for Egyptian onions. We've also got some parsnips in here, which will be coming out this winter, and a few bean plants and stuff at the back. There's a couple of courgettes and some marrows, which were courgettes and we've let get bigger, that are ready to harvest. So there's still things that we're harvesting now, deep into October. This is the last day of October, going into November, and for the next 2 or 3 weeks we will still be harvesting. We'll be harvesting onions and spring onions. These from the Egyptian onions are basically like spring onions, or we use them like spring onions. Amazing in salads. We've got Brussels sprouts that we won't even start harvesting for another 4 or 5 weeks. We've got butternut squash that we are just about to start harvesting. We've obviously had our pumpkins. We'll be harvesting chard, kale and spinach for weeks to come. Particularly the chard and spinach, we'll be harvesting that right through the winter, right through January, February, March. We'll still be harvesting that. We're not going to be, but if we wanted to, we could still be harvesting runner beans. You can see on the plants back there, not loads, but a few. And there's the odd bean still being produced by my bush beans at the back. We're still harvesting for another week or two. We'll have to see. It could be a little bit longer even. Courgettes and marrows. We've got cabbages that we are going to be harvesting in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and probably one a week for the next 3 or 4 weeks after that. We've got Swedes, rutabagas. We've got leeks, which we haven't even started harvesting yet. We're going to be harvesting for weeks and weeks. And we've also got parsnips and beetroot still in the ground, and carrots. So the end of this year is turning out pretty good in terms of harvesting. we've just picked up some interest. I don't know if you can hear from the pigs. And hello, girls. I've actually missed you. Have you missed me? Have you missed me? How you doing? I don't actually have anything for you. I was talking to Adam just yesterday about how this pig here may have magical powers. The sort of magical powers that can disrupt step ladders, because my accident has bought this pig at least another month of life, quite possibly quite a bit longer. So yeah, so the pigs have done all right out of it. I don't know if you can see the other two. The little two are just in behind. They've made a really nice unit. You know, they're not really snugly together. Into what I mean by that is you quite often see them in two pairs, but you do see them close together, both pairs close together, and you do see them as a four sometimes. So I'm super happy about that. Super happy about that. They're going to make a great little team going forward. I'm really, you know, feeling confident about all the decisions I've made up to this point. It's going to work out great. So that's the pigs. I suppose the next thing I ought to do really is just go and say hello to my goats, because again, I've not really seen any of the animals all week, or very, very little, very, very little. When we've come up, my wife and I, to feed the pigs, generally speaking, I've been in the car. We've come up round the track there that you've seen me drive up when I'm bringing up the bins and I've not got out, or I've only seen the goats from the car park. I just want to quickly say one of the most amazing, beautiful things that happened to me this week. Right at the start of the week, I sat all the children down and I explained that, you know, Dad has got a lot of little jobs that he really wanted to get done this week, and I'm not going to be able to, and it makes me feel a little bit sad. And if, you know, anything they wanted to do to help would be greatly appreciated. And I mentioned that one of them was to, if you remember now, we've cleared out this big top paddock from the chickens and the goats just for a few weeks, put the goats down in this bottom paddock. And I said, because we're still not scheduled to get any frost for the next few weeks, it would be a great thing to get some grass seed spread on those bare patches and then just cross our fingers. You know, I'm not expecting miracles, but if we get some grass seed taking, then that would be great. You know, it'd be a really nice bonus. So later that day, I'm in bed and I receive a video from my wife, and it's my son, my 10-year-old son, Torren, who you've all met, in his shorts and a hoodie in the rain, walking around this field on his own with his head down to protect him from the rain, spreading grass seed. Without being asked twice, he'd gone out and found himself a bucket, found himself a pair of scissors to open up the grass seed, put the grass seed in a bucket, taken the bucket out in the field in the rain in his shorts, and was spreading it around. So, and that was just so lovely and heartwarming. You know, I truly am blessed to have such an amazing family. Just really am blessed. Anyway, I think this will be the last stop on today's little visit. All right, Sid? How you doing, mate? You have to be gentle with me today, all right? I've actually hurt this wrist. I think I damaged it in the fall. Not too badly, but where I've been trying to do a bit, like helping my wife with the food bins and things, I think I've done a bit too much with it. And I don't know if it's a sprain, but it's either way, it needs to rest. So I'm just trying to take it easy with this wrist as well now. Yeah, how you doing, girls? All right, rhubarb? Beautiful horns. So I think that'll wrap us up. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Thanks for following along. As I said before, if the sort of videos I'm doing right now aren't your cup of tea, then I completely get that, and I apologise for bombarding your streams with them. So, you know, feel free to skip, and I can only do what I can do. But I've got some good ideas coming up. As I said, I've got surgery on Tuesday. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, I've got a COVID-19 test, and I'll do a little quick video on that. And then on Monday, I'll be at home alone, and then who knows what I'll get up to then. I'll see if I can get something good for you guys. And then on Tuesday is my surgery. So who knows? From then on, it's a bit of a mystery. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. But I really appreciate all of your support in all the different forms that they come. So thank you ever so much for watching. And if you do find these videos valuable, please make sure that you press that like button subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment down below, because doing all those things makes such a huge difference to us. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon.